How's it going, everyone? This is a pilot episode for a new series I'm trying to launch. This is going to be Mechanic Tales. Alright, so let's dive into this first pilot. What is Mechanic Tales? So, Mechanic Tales are going to be a series of recollections of odd slash stressful incidents I've experienced as a mechanic. And maybe you, as a mechanic, have also experienced something like this. Today's episode is going to be about it's just an oil change, bro. So, yeah, let's dive into it. So, this Mercedes CLA 250 came in at some point. We won't say where, what time, none of that sort of information. But let's just agree that a CLA 250 came in for an oil change. Okay, fine. I go out to the vehicle, I record the mileage, I go to start the car. That's where the problems literally begin. When I try to start the vehicle, two things immediately happen. The first thing, a coolant low warning displays on the dash. And then the next thing that happens is the car stumbles, sputters, and then stalls before even putting it into gear. I proceed to inform my service writer about the condition of the vehicle. They tell me, hey, just bring it in, do the oil change, back it out. I'm like, okay, sure. I try to start it again. I try to throw it right into gear so I can just quickly get it in. Stalls before I even move the car. Pretty much immediately stalls as soon as I put it actually into gear. So at this point, I then proceed to bring my service rider out to the vehicle and show him the condition that's occurring. He comes out there, he observes it, and he tells me to stop. Later on, the customer comes in complaining. He's like, hey, it's been 2 hours. Why isn't my oil change done? The sales writer and then the manager both talk to him and talk to me and explain the situation as I had to explain the situation. We can't really work on the vehicle if there's a pre-existing condition about that. They do need to inform us of that so we can properly diagnose the vehicle. We don't just bring cars in. And let's circle back to that statement. We don't just bring cars in. So what the customer had done had brought the vehicle to us running and left it running. And he had said, end quote, yeah, I left it running, 2 hours ago, just saying, yeah, just bring it right in, get it done for me real quick, this, that, and the other. Now, that's obviously not really our shop policy. We don't just bring cars in. We do test drive the vehicle. We do look over the vehicle because we want to keep people safe. So the service writer who was there at the time, different service writer than I talked to, they put covers in the vehicle. They turned the car off. They never moved it or drove the vehicle. Now, when I return hours later from my lunch break, that's when I go to start up the car and have the issue. Now, why is this a mechanic tale? What's the tale part of this? I've run into this issue before. I suspect what this customer was trying to do was run a bit of a scam on us, you could say. So this is a thing that people have done before. They will get the vehicle running just good enough to get it into the shop, knowing that there's big issues with the vehicle. But the second we bring it into the shop and start working on it right, if we did the oil change on that car with the issues the engine was clearly having, we could have been buying him a new engine. And that's the tale. So, as a mechanic, you got to be very vigilant out there. You got to actually check your cars over. Don't just do the job. If something is wrong, clearly wrong, you got to get people involved. Because here's the rub. That little Mercedes 4-cylinder engine, it's worth more than my entire car. It's like a $9,000 engine used if you're lucky. It's usually around 12 to 16 because you got to just buy it new. And my car's, I paid like 10 grand for it. It's maybe worth actually 6 in value. So like, you could be held with a bag on that BS if you're not careful, not taking care of yourself. But I was careful, and I don't have to buy that guy an engine. Anyway, everyone, if you like this content, let me know in the comments. If you have your own mechanic tale, also post it in the comments. Or make your own video. It's a free idea. Either way, I'm the original very own unicorn. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully the next one of this series. Bye for now.